Hi everyone, hope you're doing well. I'm Hannah. Thanks for being here. If you're a new face, welcome. And thanks to the OGs for coming back. I don't really know how I'm gonna talk about this next one. Because only the people who've been through something similar is gonna know what it is I'm talking about, really. But it's been like nagging at me to talk about this for a few weeks. And I still really haven't figured out like the best way to do it, so I'm just going to do it and see what happens. So in my life, I've been bullied throughout my life. When I was younger, it wasn't as bad, but I feel like that was part of the process. So I was like bullied in my family. I wasn't really bullied in school. No, people used to, because I was smart, people used to like copy my homework and stuff like that, but I didn't really see it as bullying, and I wasn't really in any cliques or anything. I didn't really think that school was that bad. In sixth form, I wasn't really bullied that bad. I was bullied worse by like my family at that time, but not really by people in sixth form. And then I got bullied in uni. I didn't really like uni at all. I got bullied in uni, mainly by the head of the course, which was really weird. But that I think that's become more important like as later in life, because I just think it was like a manifestation of jealousy from that person, but we weren't really equivalent. We weren't really equals. Do you know what I mean? I didn't really understand it. But yeah, that was really like, that's only in recent times that that's come out. And yeah, I was bullied in uni, and then like from sixth form till like the first year of uni, I worked at City Football Ground, and that was fun. That was mostly fun. I used to do catering for the press, so I used to like just speak with the journalists and stuff. And I was bullied by the other co-workers that were in the same positions as me, but I wasn't really bothered. Like, I didn't really pay much mind to it because I actually liked it. I thought it was quite a good part-time job for when I was studying. And yeah, that was a really good job. Like, I got to watch the games and stuff like that, and yeah, it was pretty good. I got bullied more by my family because then I was able to like buy more stuff for myself. So they used to rob my stuff because they weren't doing they weren't anything. They used to rob my stuff and ruin it, or like I'd never see it again, like pretending they never had, and I'd never see my stuff again. Which used to annoy me. And yeah, when I was at uni, like when I lived in halls, I was like a year older than everyone because I went to uni at 19. I don't think it would have made a difference though, but they were all like so undomesticated, like really weird, really weird. And they used to always use my stuff, just like my sisters at home, and accuse me of robbing their stuff, which was really weird. Really weird. But I don't really get that. it was these two fat southern girls that were doing that. So yeah, they were fat, really fat as well. Well, I think I never really used to socialise with them or anything. I did at first to be pleasant, but I didn't really after that. After the start of the year, I started to keep myself to myself. And I think they used to just do it to get attention from me. That's what I think. I think that's what bullies do, to be honest, all the time. It's just for them to get attention. And anyway, yeah, what was I going to say? Oh yeah, so that I don't know what, like, I only bully people back. I don't bully people. I don't just pick a person to bully. Do you know what I mean? I don't know why people do that, but yeah, those two fat girls really had a problem with me. Oh, and so I had like my first partner I had was since I was 17, and he was a bully. Like, he was also a bully, but I think I was just used to it from my family and from other people, so that's why I ended up staying with him for so long, really. But he was definitely a bully. Yeah, not a real man, but and didn't really grow into one either, like for 12 years. And then when I finished uni, I did, like I mentioned before, like did part-time jobs. And then one of them was working for like a government quango that was like an ombudsman for transport. And the manager of that team was really, really like sleazy. And I got bullied out of that job because I had to go to HR about his sleaziness, and because I was a temp member of staff, I just got bullied out. But he was disgusting. Like, he was really disgusting. Like, he used to always tell me like point out like that I wasn't looking at him, but he was disgusting. Like, why would you look at something that's disgusting? And I'm not saying that like to be a bitch or anything. He was just so disgusting. And I just don't know why anyone would say that to anyone. Like, for me, I'm just like, what the fuck? But he was like so obsessed with it. And then there was like other male members of that team that were like trying to warn me about like not getting on the wrong side of him and stuff like that. But why would you want to stay in a job where you were being perved on like that? So anyway, I tried to go to HR and like sort it out through my agency and stuff, but ended up getting bullied out because he was like, it was obviously the best thing because he was a pervert. It wasn't really nice for me to be there for 5 months, never mind any longer. And then while I was at uni though, I didn't get bullied at this job. Like, I did merchandising for Mothercare, which is like a baby brand. I don't know if it still exists actually. I did that like in between over holidays and stuff. And I didn't get bullied at that job. I actually like really liked it and stuff. And they kept having me back every holidays while I was at uni. And I learned a lot about like the behind the scenes of like retail and stuff from that job. That was ages ago. and like got to like approve all the samples of all the toys and stuff like that, and didn't do the testing and stuff to assess the quality of the products, but got to know what the process was like and like what was involved in it, because I'm not like a technologist, I think they were called. But yeah, I did actually find that job really fun. But then they moved the thing to they moved the thing to India and China, so they had to shut up shop. And I always wonder like what would have happened if I'd they just kept calling me back, and then after I graduated, I just worked there full time, like worked for Mother Care full time. Then I would have got to travel to like Bangladesh and India and China, where they used to go all the time. Like all the full-time colleagues used to go there to the factories and the offices where the colleagues were, but I only ever got to deal with them by like phone and email. So and all the suppliers and everything. But yeah, I was like got to be involved in like a lot of the supply chain for toys for babies and kids, which was really cool. And even though I was getting paid like a lot more than people my age were getting paid if they were doing like minimum wage jobs in like bars or whatever. But for what they had me doing, like that was so cheap for them. That was so cheap for them. So cheap. Oops. Yeah, but I forgot about that job. That was actually like really good. But because I had to work that job to like pay for uni, because I worked that because of the bullying and stuff at uni, I didn't really do as good as I wanted in uni, and like the course wasn't designed for my way of learning. Like I got a first in my dissertation, which I had like months to write a proper solid piece of research. But all the other exams was like multiple choice and stuff, which is just fake learning if you ask me. It's not proper learning. So the way that they taught it and everything which wasn't very suited to me, and the way my brain works, I much preferred I always did better in the assignments where it was like you actually got time to do some coursework and write up your research. So yeah, but I think I'm just an old school learner, and everything is just like I think everything's geared towards how quickly things can be marked, as opposed to like what is better for like developing useful skills and knowledge. But yeah, like if I went to uni again, well, I do think about going to uni again sometimes. Like, I think, would I benefit from going to do a poetry degree? Or would it just make me hate the art? That's what I have ummed and ahed about it for like, well, since 2021. And there is like a degree you can do. I don't know if it's a degree. There's also something that I saw, this is like an aside, but I'll just talk about it now. But I did see like a residency in Cambridge, where they basically like don't pay you much money, but while you're there for a year, you have to like write a book, which I'd probably write one really fast, and then just have a year to like potter about and not do very much in Cambridge. So some people just do that stuff just to have the prestige of saying, oh, I did this residency at Cambridge, but Cambridge is also supporting the genocide. So I just can't, unfortunately, my conscience won't let me do something just for the prestige of having it on my CV. Just values don't align. So so I have thought about going to uni again, but then I always enjoyed neuroscience after I left, like just researching it and just learning different things, because I was interested in neuroscience, but the way it was taught, even though it was like, I think it's one of the best schools in the country that I went to for it, but the way it was taught wasn't suited to me. But I still learn about neuroscience things now. Like if something like pops up that intrigues me, I'll still go and read about it, just off my own back, because it was something that I enjoyed, and like something that I still just feels natural to enjoy. I just geek out over it. And then when I was applying for jobs and stuff, like after that transport job, I got loads of interviews like for neuroscience jobs. Like they were all in Salford because that's where the neuroscience is. And the one I ended up getting was the one I actually didn't think I was going to get. And pretty much, well, I don't know if things would have been different if I had have gone straight working into the hospital, do one of their kind of jobs actually in the actual neuroscience department, not doing like the commissioning for it. I don't know. I just don't think. I think in hindsight, micro level jobs like that are not for me either. Like I think the macro commissioning job that I had was actually more suited to me, because I have vision and stuff, and I can see bigger picture and things like that. So working on a regional level was actually suited to me. But again, like I was in I got bullied from the start there as well. I just wasn't. I don't behave like how people expect me to behave. I just don't get it. Like, yeah, it's just weird. Like, I think the first job I had, which was like for 3 years, I did get bullied and stuff, and I got made to do this thing that was called a 360-degree appraisal. I think it was like they're trying to bully me, but not make it look like they were. I've tried to get me to have like more awareness of my like leadership, where I need to develop and where I don't need to develop and stuff. But it didn't really teach me anything I didn't know about myself, really. And like all my gaps and stuff were just for lack of opportunity within the job. like, and like I need stimulation in terms of like things to actually get my teeth into. Just fitting into like a system that it doesn't really work, but they want you just to fit into it. It's not really, that's not the aim of the game by getting new people, is it? You're not going to get any change or anything. So I just felt like it was a bit stupid. And that's kind of like a theme that runs on in the NHS throughout my career. But then after 3 years, the old system got dissolved, and then there was a new system that got developed. And then I tried to get a redundancy so I could just go travelling. And I told them that and everything. That's probably a mistake. That I told them. Anyway, that didn't happen. I ended up getting in the job in the new structure, and it was a promotion as well. But I still wanted to go travelling. So this is another thing, right? So I always got bullied, and they couldn't really I didn't really know why. I just was just like, oh, I just roll with the punches. But that I realised that that's like a really bad strategy. But I always got bullied, and I didn't fit in with people. People used to always gossip about me. I didn't really understand it because it's not really a way to know people. But I was really good. I was a really good employee, so they couldn't really do that much to go along with everything, all that used to get all the gossip and stuff that used to get generated about me. So anyway, I got a job in the new structure, and I was like shocked, and I'm not really happy about it because I really wanted to go travelling. Anyway, so when everyone went into their new jobs and the new roles and the new structure, I wrote a letter to the chief executive of the organisation to ask for some 3 months off to go travelling. Basically, I did the maths of how much unpaid leave I could do without, unpaid, leave. So how much would I could do without, and then how much annual leave I could use up, and then change my pay for the rest of the year so it balanced out every month. And they did it. They agreed. He agreed, but then all the managers underneath him had to agree. And even though they bullied me, they all were like, make sure you don't go away, don't never come back. So it was just weird, how they bullied me, but then that was they actually wanted me to come back. It's really, they wanted me to come back for what, more bullying? I don't fucking know what's in these people's heads. Excuse me. Anyway, so I went to Southeast Asia. It was amazing. I practiced yoga before I went there, but it was mainly just stretches after running, or for rehab or anything like that. It wasn't proper yoga. But when I went to Southeast Asia, I spent a lot of time by myself. I then did yoga in Thailand and Bali. like in different countries, like proper yoga, and then I realised that I couldn't breathe. Couldn't really breathe. Anyway, I actually came back after that. Like, I came back, and then after I came back, I started like, so up to that point, I'd only done half marathons. That was like the longest race I ever done. Like, I'd only really been running again for like 2 years. After that, I decided that I was going to train for a marathon. And then the bullying got way worse after that. And like, bearing in mind, these people, like, I used to chat to them, and they probably saw me more than like other people ever did in my life. They used to bully me. And it just got worse and worse and worse and worse. They just kept putting like grievances in over, I don't even remember what they were for. I wonder what they think about it now as well, like why they even bothered to do that, or why they even thought I would be doing anything against them, like for them to put all these fake reports in on me. Because I really didn't spend any time with them. I didn't give them a no mind or nothing. I was literally had a lot of plates that I was balancing. I didn't even have any space in my brain to think of how I was gonna plot and bully someone. Do you know what I mean? It was really crazy because like, marathon training takes a lot out of you. Like, thinking that's all I was concentrating on. I wasn't concentrating on them, and all my projects were always, there was never any business as usual shit, which is like easy days at the job, which is what theirs was like. Theirs was like easy days, business as usual stuff. Mine was like developing new systems and processes and services, because I was like doing neuro and it was all needed redesigning for the whole system. And yeah, crazy. So I just don't know where they even got it in the mind that I had time to even think about them in that kind of way. But they used to literally make my life hell, get me in all these grievance processes over and over and over again. I'm thinking, what the frick? I spent a lot of my time, like, had lunches a lot of time by myself. They used to all make fun of my lunches because I used to eat green veg and like salmon a lot, because if I was doing like a run in the evening, I couldn't really eat the same supermarket sandwiches and shit that they were just eating, with all the preservatives and additives and all of that in it. All the shit. Yeah, disgusting shit that they used to eat. But it doesn't really matter, like, even though I was eating that for years, it was still a marvel to them. But none of them even really, I just don't get it. Like, I never had time to really think about them. I never really had time to pay attention to their lunches. Like, I never really had. I don't know, man. It was really weird. Like, really, 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 really weird. I don't know how they even thought that it was important to me and my time and my days to even think about them in that way. But for some reason, they didn't like me and they kept putting grievances on me all the time. And I was still doing like, I was still doing really good work. So I don't really still know what they wanted out of it, or what they thought they were going to get out of it. And that really continued until when I left the NHS. But when I left the NHS, they got like some weird lady from private sector to manage me out. Like they couldn't even do it themselves. There's some HR lady. And then after that, the worst thing is like they just told everyone, just spread really bad gossip about me. And all I was doing was sticking up for myself because I was really had enough. Really had enough. Like, yeah, really, really had enough. Had enough of people taking credit for my work. Had enough of people trying to take over my project, even though they had no knowledge of neuroscience or neuroscience services or anything. They just thought it was like sexy and interesting, and because that's all my projects, I made them fun. And they were always like new, so they always get regional and national attention, and that's all they wanted. Like they just wanted to be part of that. They didn't have any knowledge. They didn't have any substance. They didn't have it. All they had was like the line manager role, and they thought that was a way to be abusive and try and pull me in line, but pulling me in line would have never got the results that I got. So just don't know. You can't have both. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's fucking ridiculous. Really ridiculous. She was a bit special. I ain't gonna lie, man. There's this Scouse woman that was the patient engagement manager, like in the organisation where I worked in Salford. She was not all there, man. But she actually came up to me and said, why do you work in the NHS? You don't really suit it. She actually said that to me. She's like, there's like people that it suits, and there's like the typical manager, but you're not that. Like, you don't really suit being here. Like, she actually said it to my face. Whereas all the other like manifestations of that kind of sentiment just came through people bullying me and trying to weaponise the system against me and always have me in grievance processes and stuff. It's all from jealousy. It's all from hatred and jealousy. I didn't really spend much time with them. And I was then from when I trained for one marathon, I was always training for something. And then I got my house, and then it was a restoration house, so I was restoring my house. So I had even less and less time for them. But then they really started piling up, like, the problems that they had with me. I just don't know where they thought I even had any space to be doing any of that shit. Like, I'm not even joking, man. They used to bully me because I used to wear Lycra as well. I used to cycle to work. Yeah, I don't know. It was very rare that I got from my co-workers and stuff. I got it like even like I used to have beef with the clinicians that I worked with, like in the specialties, but I think it made them respect me more, and I respected them more as well. But it wasn't in the same. It wasn't like nasty. It wasn't like malicious and nasty. It was to get through the challenge and then get to a solution, which is what healthy people do. But and I could manage that and I did manage it for like the other areas. I didn't see that as bullying. I saw the petty nasty shit as bullying. Like, literally, it just felt like they were just trying to get in my energy all the time, find a way to have some sort of connection with me all the time. Because I honestly didn't have time for them. There was no need for me to interact with them except for just like the compulsory meetings that we had as a team. I didn't learn anything from them. And even if they could offer me something because of the bullying, I never really went to them anyway. Because I didn't trust them. I thought they were a bit strange. And yeah, so I just ended up working mostly by myself, which is the best way that I work anyway. And they never respected it, but they made it worse. And yeah, and then it was like they didn't want, because I was good, they didn't want anyone else to have me because they were competitive. And then they went to shit after I left because of that, because they tried to they destroyed my career. So that's what happens. So I never deserved anything that they did. And I just, I said it on other videos, but like, I thought, oh, everywhere's like this, you have to put up with this. And for me, it is actually true. Everywhere I go, I get bullied. Everywhere I go, I get bullied. And I don't know what it is, like, it's people that have lied to get in their positions and then feel insecure and think that you're going to take their job. So then they start attacking you. Or people that are bored, who are just sitting waiting for pension day, which I don't understand that. I don't understand that, man. They've got things, yeah, confirmation. They just literally want an easy life at work, want some drama, try to make a soap opera out of being at work. It's a bit weird. And then anyway, then I moved to like a different trust, and the bullying was way worse then, because I was out of my niche. I just did outpatients in totality then. But I was still good, even though I was covering a way wider area. I was making like a lot of change in a very short time, because the trust that I moved to was like not at the same level. I went from like a trust that was was working at a higher standard to one that was like really average. So I was making quite a lot of changes like in a very short time, and then all hell broke loose. Although then I got the flu, then I got chronic fatigue, and all hell broke loose because they wanted me, while I was in like recovery and stuff, to move to another area of work, which didn't make any sense. It was basically, they just wanted another administrator at a higher level to do like really basic project admin, which is like, I had people doing that for me, which were like 3 pay bands below me. I don't really understand what the point of that was, except for to bully me because they saw me as competition, but I don't really understand that, because we were all supposed to be working for the same organisation and it was different work streams. So anyway, they tried to do that, cause a massive drama. And then anyway, because I was like sick and stuff, they messed with all the programs of work. So they basically made it so I had no work and then managed me out. And now they're in the shit as well. They don't have anything. They don't. Like, I don't really, everyone, all of those organisations have just, they're all broke and they're all collapsed. So I really don't get why they invest so much energy bullying people that are actually trying to make changes and do the right thing. The public sector in the UK is like how it is. because of the people in it. 100%. 100%. It's like that because of the people. They don't change. They don't change. I mean, it was actually, like, I look back now about working in neuroscience services, and it kind of sounds bad to say this, but because the patient group is like has life-limiting conditions, they did innovation and stuff just more naturally. So there was more change that was accepted. In my niche area. And that's why I tolerated the NHS for so long. Because I like I said, I actually like neuroscience. But everywhere else, it's like so. It's crazy. Really, really crazy. I mean, the hospital that I worked at last before I completely left the NHS, I think I've said this in other videos, but one of the things I got bullied about was actually spending more time in the outpatients department than in the tower, like the office tower with all the managers, because I didn't brown nose anyone. And then one of the other things I got bullied about is because I used to have meetings with the clinical director, because one of the things I was managing was setting up the long COVID service for the city, like across the whole city. And obviously at that time it was like really urgent that there was one. I wasn't brown nosing anyone. It was just very high on the agenda. But I don't really care about stuff like that. But it's actually really funny that what the things I got bullied for, but then the meetings and stuff I got put in to speak on and represent for, like where I got sent to be a representative. So obviously I wasn't that much of a delinquent, was I? It's really, like, people just don't even think about what they're doing. It's so fucking dumb. So fucking ridiculous dumb. But when when I left like the neuroscience thing, when I left Salford and like my neuroscience role, I actually like spent quite a lot of money on counselling to understand like why I kept getting bullied, and had a realisation that it was because I was competent. It never really occurred to me. I've said that in other videos. And then it just continued, like, with my business and everything. Never experienced such hatred and ridiculousness in all my life. Like, people trying to get me trafficked, stealing my identity and all of that. And these are people with money to do that are jealous of me and like see me as competition and want to get me out of the way and try to steal my house and making, like, you know, slandering me to not lend to me and stuff like that. I do think overall, like, you know, there's always everything always happens for a reason in my life. And I wouldn't have had the realization about, you know, that I don't need to lend. I shouldn't really be lending anyway if there was no occupation in Palestine, and I could just have the same access to what everyone else has, you know, like being able to access inheritance and stuff, like to make my life better when I need it in my life. like other people had I not gone through all this hardship, and I definitely wouldn't know about all the different things about finance had I not been bullied. And I don't really care what, like, there's loads of people, like now it's like really on trend. There's like loads of campaigners that are like, tax the wealthy, tax the wealthy, tax the wealthy. Or put a wealth tax, put a wealth tax. But the people who've bullied me in my life, they're not rich people. No rich person has ever bullied me, really. Like I said, when I worked with neurosciences and with dermatology, or like in any of the projects I worked in, obviously the doctors are more affluent and stuff. There's the odd one that was a bit weird. But they never really did anything to get in my way. They were always encouraging, and they never acted jealous. Like I said, there was the odd few weird doctors. But in the main, no. They were never jealous or never tried to bully me or never tried to get me in situations that I never really belonged in. It was always the poor people, like the people who they didn't really have anything going on in their lives. Like, they were the ones who wanted work to be like a soap opera. And like, I don't think that so all the basically like neurologists and dermatologists like are seen as like the smartest medics. And obviously I had to deal with neurosurgeons and like spinal surgeons as well. And like, I never really found them to be, I mean, I used to have beef with one particular neurologist, but I think it was actually quite, it was respectful. Like, it was like a good rivalry, I think. I think, like, if you look back as well, he'd have respect for me. And I think he did have respect for me, but he was a character, and I could understand why people were pissed off with him. But it's just because they don't suffer fools. And I'm not a fool. Like, I'm just me. I don't say anything that I don't know anything about. I don't try and manipulate or just try and get them to agree to things that don't make any sense. But just because I'm in a job and I've got a title and I've got the power. Like, I never did anything like that. I actually had no power. I was in one of them roles, which is like, what do you call it? There's no, like, it was a role that, it wasn't like a binding one, what they had to always report to me and stuff like that, like with other reports that they had to do about the performance. It was like a collaborative agreement that took negotiation and stuff for everyone to sign up to across the region. What's it called? Influence without authority, that's what it is. So the fact that they did actually give me time and entertainment and stuff, even though it wasn't like mandatory and even though it wasn't like a compulsory contract thing, like wasn't written in stone in the contracts, I think that also pissed people off. But that made my job very hard, and people don't realise, like, that made my job really, really hard. It's a lot harder to do jobs like that than it is if you've got a stick that you can say, I'm gonna, if you don't do X, Y, and Z within such and such a time, I'm gonna fine you or whatever, or, you know, not give you this tranche of money or whatever. Pathetic. People don't give people props, man, where it's deserved. Anyway, what I was saying is, if you don't act like a dick, they've got time for you, man. It's just that they think these medics who, it basically, what all, like I said, all the work was not really like, it was covered in contractual meetings and stuff, but it was all out of good faith. Like, it was put in there at good faith because it was collaborative, but it was stuff that we were doing it was innovative for our region. Like, it wasn't something that came out of like national or anything like that for us to do. We were like trailblazers, and they were engaged. Like, they were engaged in it, but they didn't have to do it. And these stupid commissioners from all around the region just thought they could just wield their powerful sticks and just get these really smart people like the neurologists and dermatologists just to comply with what they wanted. And that's what they didn't have time for, because they were coming to my meetings to do all of this improvement work on top of their already busy schedules. Why are they treating people like that? Like crap. And that's what they didn't have time for. That's why they never got anything dealing directly with them, because they were treating them as if like entitled pieces of shit. Confirmation. Whereas I've more like the doctors, where I don't suffer fools and I don't pander to that kind of nonsense, and so yeah, they had a bit more like I had things going on in my life where I didn't have time for that, to even think like that or be like that or anything like that. So that's where I got places. That's where I made headway and actually, got things moving and could actually work with them, because I could see them for what they were. I didn't think they were doing anything to be annoying or anything to sometimes that neurologist. I think he did, but funny guy. But like, they were the ones like putting me through dumb grievance processes for no fucking reason. They had things to do. They had better things to do, and they were like me. I had better things to do, like, than bother about thinking of how I'm going to bully someone and get them trapped up in weaponized processes and systems against them. And you've got to also think, like, these clinical directors, they're not going to do anything. So they've built up their services. Like, they built up their neurology services, dermatology services over time. Like, they're not going to make drastic changes because someone bullied them into it. They're only going to do what's right for their departments, which is the right thing to do. It's the right thing to do. And that's why I always got them involved in being the trailblazers and influencing like national policy before it became national, and then everyone just got told to do it, because we could essentially write the policy that we were already doing, and then they wouldn't have to make like changes that didn't work for them. And that's another thing I think people didn't really like the other areas of the conurbation, they weren't necessarily like, they didn't necessarily operate from that lead the way kind of space. They were always just waiting to be told what to do. So they weren't the right people that you wanted to work with anyway. So for a lead the way kind of, for the lead the way departments, for them to be telling lead the way departments that were influencing national policy to just do what they wanted them to do, which was like way backwards. It was just so ignorant, really, really ignorant. And basically that's just what I've had to face with trying to do my startup. People just see it, not seeing me for what I am and what I'm actually doing, and just wanted me to slot into their dumb mentality, but with way, way worse consequences. Excuse me. I feel like I've got hay fever, but I've not been outside. I think it's because someone was cutting the grass. Yeah. I just don't really get why people bully people, to be honest. I don't get it. But I have more respect for those departments, for the dermatology and neurology department now, than I did when I worked with them, because of having to stand my ground and stand up for everything I've built personally against the system that hates entrepreneurs. Like, real entrepreneurs, not these fake people who are like teenagers who are robbing everyone's creations from tech and claiming it's theirs and actually destroying the country. Got no life experience, got no idea of what it means to actually manage money, be stable, how to how to deal with times of hardship and loss, and I've got no idea, because they still live with their parents. They don't have the, they don't. What's a teenager gonna do? Like, they probably don't manage the business. They've probably just have it in their name, and they're getting advice from the parents or whoever it is in their family. But they've never actually managed anything themselves, and that's why they just keep. There's all these people now that trying to encourage people to build up a fake business. It's like all this overinflating the worth of everything. It's all going to blow up. Create a fake business, usually something in tech, run it for like 6 months, sell it to someone for money. But what have they done? Like, I don't get it. It's not really gonna I don't know what they're doing to actually like stabilise the country. Like, I don't really know. Because with technology, well, like for example, the people who are robbing me, I don't know where they are. They're cowards. They don't show who they are. They're in other countries, and then they're making these fake laws. Like Carnegie UK has made this fake law. Why is Carnegie UK even in our democracy? We never voted for them, making fake laws, just like the prescribing Palestine Action thing just got through the back door. There was something in the background who set them up for that. We never voted for them. So who are these people that are just influencing democracy? It's the people creating all these fake tech businesses that are all international, don't pay anything here, blocking the people that would actually pay tax here, like me, by robbing all my work, linking my name up on my business and my brand name up to all sorts of terrorist activity. Trying to ostracize me in society. I don't really get it. It just gets you stuck, like looking back at the past and stuff and not moving forward. But I don't know what I'm meant to do, because like other people in the government need to help me get out of this hole. I never should have been here. Never should have been here. And they need to take accountability and responsibility of the bullying and the prejudice and discrimination that's in the system, that's causing economic collapse. Because you think about it, how many other people have they done this to, just because they don't want other people to do better than them, when they're not doing better because they're not doing anything to make it. Do you know what? They're not doing anything to do that. They've chosen to be in them jobs. You shouldn't be sending people down directions that they're not on. And I was always fighting that for the neuro and the derm departments, because they wanted to lead the way. They always wanted to try new things, and that's what kept them engaged in. Didn't really feel like I had to influence them without authority, because they wanted to be part of developing new policy and doing the right thing, because they were good people, even though they got accused of not being that, because they told people to stick it when they were just trying to bully them, which is fair enough, man. It's like, you should be telling people to stick it if they're trying to bully you. But there's just no way. I just don't know now. Like, people need to actually see sense. Like, stop the blockages for no reason. Like, I just don't get it. It's people that are really insecure, really troubled, they've got serious mental health problems. What's the point? What's the point in projecting that and inflicting that and stopping progress? There's no reason why people just shouldn't be progressing along the trajectories that is natural and works for them. Because what we worked on and worked hard, well, I don't know if it was me actually, like, thinking about it, because it's just how I work, but what we worked on, it did get adopted. Like, what we were doing as vanguards did get adopted as national. So, but it's not like this online safety act shit, where that's actually criminal. That's actually criminal behaviour that they've modelled off terrorising people. Like, I've been terrorised through tech for years. Then now they're trying to roll it out to everyone. But you shouldn't be rolling that out. That's failed pilots. If they were testing it out and they were using me as an experiment without my knowledge, it's criminal. One, shouldn't be doing that. And two, it doesn't work. Because how is collapsing people going to work? What's the agenda here? They're going to collapse everybody. You can't be introducing things that don't comply with it, already existing law and infrastructure. You've got to fit it in the infrastructure and grow on top of that. You can't do something that literally goes against legal infrastructure and like business infrastructure and trade infrastructure, completely like decapitates or capitulates everything. You can't capitulate everything by introducing something new. That's the shit railway. That's the shit railway. Like, it's not real improvement or real development. And they're gonna just, yeah, it's just ridiculous. So anyway, they're basically capitulating that middle classes, ordinary working people like me, who could potentially grow. Well, I was always growing until I wasn't. Like, I was always growing steadily and, you know, at a pace that worked for me. I never, like, had a yeah, I was always growing, like, and I just wanted, like, even when all I wanted from a business was to just maintain what I already set up. And then there's those people in the system that were trying to just literally ruin my life. Like, I don't know what they were seeing. I literally don't know what they were seeing. And it's like the same demon was moving from person to person. That's all I can describe it. That doesn't matter what door I knocked on, the same demon was there. Anyway, I don't really know what I'm supposed to do. I know it's my art. I deserve to make money from it like everyone else. I deserve to get my identity and everything back. I deserve to not be on the terror watch list, sanctions list, because I'm just literally not doing anything because I don't have any money. And I obviously don't have any real friends, so, because there's no proper support or anything for this kind of terrorization that I've been experiencing. But I just feel like throughout my life, it's been like bullying to like increasing degrees. Yeah, it was almost like building up stamina, building up endurance to be able to deal with this level of scale of bullying. Well, so I didn't get drawn into it, or like get, you know, really. So I didn't get trafficked, for example. So I wouldn't be that naive and just really trust the wrong people. And two, so I'd be able to like hold my ground and I'd stand up for my life. You shouldn't have to do that. I shouldn't have had to go through that. I don't really know why. I think it was God's will that I have to live and experience that. And also, you know, still, I'd have to do it most in isolation. I haven't really talked about like bullying in friendship groups and stuff like that, and like I have a bit in other videos, but not in that sense. But even with like the partners that I've been with, and there's not that many, all the families bullied me, every single one of them, which is really weird. But that was the same in all the things. So that like they all bullied me. And someone that used to be my best friend, she bullied me and got all my friends to turn against me because she decided to get married the week that I was going to Palestine to cycle with Matt. And I'd already been training for months for it. It's like I'd tried to apply for it 3 years before, and this was the year that I got a place finally. I'd already been fundraising for it. I don't think she even knew the guy that she was marrying for longer than I've been trying to get on that thing, on the actual trip, the charity trip. And then then she, I can't remember what it was. Anyway, then she made up some excuse that she wanted me to be bridesmaid at the wedding, like guilted me into like giving up my place. Yeah, she guilted me into giving up my place. Then like for like 2 or 3 months, never heard from her or nothing like that. Never got asked to help with anything, nothing like that. Then out of the blue, she contacted me and was like, "Oh, I think you only wanted to come to my wedding because of being bridesmaid." So she's basically trying to say that I was upstaging her, trying to upstage her. When, like I said, wasn't even thinking of anything like that, because at the time I was being bullied really. This was one of the times I was really, really badly being bullied at work. I actually had to go off sick because of it, because of the amount of bullying that I was experiencing and like the grievance process that I was in. And I was training, doing all the cycle training and doing more hill training and stuff, like as in like hill running, like in the mountains for it. Because it's not, that trip's not easy. It's like hilly and hot, and it's like over a week you have to cycle around the West Bank. And I live in a flat area. It's not, you have to ride out for a bit to get to any hills. Like I used to get the train out to like Buxton or Macclesfield and then ride back. Yeah, because it's just flat here, like there's not really hills. And then I used to have to like put the bike on really high gears while riding flat, so my muscles would feel like they'd done a hill workout, but I was on flat terrain. So I used to have to properly be smart about how I was training. Anyway, this was a friend that I'd known since like 11 years old. And that's what she thought about me. Like she actually thought that I only wanted to come to a wedding. When in my culture, the women help organise the wedding, like, but she never asked me. She never did anything. Like she never invited me to do anything, or she never said, "Will you do this bit or that bit?" Or no, she just thought I was trying to upstage her, which is like I said, I don't really know where that came from or anything, but she managed to gossip about me to this extent where now I'm not really friends with anyone from that I used to know that knew her, because they all thought that I was in the wrong. But anyway, I clearly wasn't in the wrong, and it was God's plan for me to go to cycle around the West Bank, because I managed to get my place back. There was 2 people that got injured, and I managed to get my place back. And I met some amazing people doing that trip. Yeah, I like, that was just, it was clearly like, excuse me, God's will that I went at that time, confirmation. And she didn't have to book her wedding at that time. And even though she did, I just thought when she booked it at that week, I was like, okay, well, she doesn't want me at the main event. There's loads of times when you can't make someone's main wedding, but I didn't think she'd go to the drama and everything that she did.